Just gonna take one more second. Sorry, guys.
Okay.
Okay, and it looks like we're live. So we're
All
good.
right.
So, guys, everybody, welcome today. And like I said, I hope everybody's looking forward to this long weekend. And let me on my screen a little bit more. So anybody that doesn't know me, I'm Ralph Alanzisi. I'm the Chief of Digital Learning and Development for the district. And I'm really happy to be joined by all of you, as well as the whole tech team that's on board. Today, Casey Anderson over at Cranberry is going to walk you guys through a training on Google Classroom. We've also got Tina, Lindsay, Kate, Jen, and everybody from central office that are going to be on as well. And we'll be answering questions for you as we go along. So I'm going to kind of turn it over to Casey to kind of give you the basics of Google Classroom today. And then at the end of this, once again, we'll move forward with the basic training. Probably about 40 minutes into this, we'll turn off the recording and then be able to just have an open question and answer period. So if you can, hold most of your questions to a little bit later, or just throw them in the chat, so we can have a record of them and get back to them. The only other thing I'd ask you to do too is, if you can, just turn off your camera and just mute yourself for the time of the first part of the training. Then you can turn yourselves back on in about 40 minutes. So anybody that doesn't know Casey is our digital literacy coach, teacher over at Cranberry, has been doing a lot of work with a lot of us over the years. And you know, Casey, I guess hopefully that's enough of an introduction. I'll let you kind of take it over from there.
All right. Thank you, Ralph. Hopefully everyone can hear me okay. Welcome to Google Classroom. I'm going to try to make this as painless as possible, but I'll go slow and move a little fast, but I will definitely answer questions as best I can. And anything that gets shouted out to me, I'm sure Ralph or Tina will assist there. And I thank you. So Google Classroom, if you haven't gone on, share my screen. I'm not as technical as Jeff yesterday, who was awesome and amazing, but I will do my best today. All right.
So are you using some kind of earphones or headphones for your mic? You're breaking up a little bit.
Am I breaking up? No.
Okay, that's a little better.
Is that a little better? I'll speak up a little closer. Okay.
That's good.
Thank you, Tina. I appreciate it.
Definitely. And just Casey, do you actually live in Norwalk? Or are you?
No, I live in Trumbull.
Oh, okay. Because I was going to say, like, there's a lot of sections in Norwalk that are having a lot of internet issues today as well.
Oh, really? Okay. I had all my issues yesterday, hopefully.
Yeah. Great. Sorry.
No, that's fine. All right. So of course, all these things are popping up. There we go. All right. So we're going to continue with Classroom. Hopefully everyone can see me here. You will have, all right, I'm going to just, all right. So we have, now I'm having all my issues. All right. Apologize. And there we go. Sorry, guys. Just play around with that. There we go. Hopefully that'll help my mic a little bit as well. All right. So if you are used to your class link, your students will have this as well. It'll have Google Apps in your class link, and you can click here and then go to Google Classroom. Once you do that, you open up a class. I have lots of classes on here, so you will see those. Today, we're going to look at a couple different things, but let's go to our tutorial one today. When you open up a class, it will start like this. For you, since it will be your first one, I will show that actually. It's going a little slow today. There we go. All right. So in your
Casey, I'm gonna interrupt. The mic is still like going in and out.
I don't know why
That's a
yeah.
strong connection where you are in the house.
Yeah, it's my main connection. I'm right near my Wi-Fi. It was
Oh, so that's
working early.
better. Maybe it's just the distance or something.
Might be. I'll just lean into the mic then.
Perfect. Okay, thanks, Casey.
At
Sorry.
the moment, it sounds good too. So, I mean, it's like, it was just a few seconds ago that it looks like as long as you're close to wherever you are right now.
Casey, I think you
You there?
froze.
Oh, isn't technology wonderful? Yeah, we may have
Yeah,
lost.
we lost them, right? Okay.
So, yeah, hang on one second.
I'm trying to maybe stop the video and put it back on, but it's not letting me do that either.
Yeah, so here, well, let me kind of take over while we wait for Casey to jump back
Yep.
on. So,
I think he has to stop sharing the screen now.
I think I can take it over though. So,
Okay.
all right, guys. So really today, what we're going to talk a little bit about is actually Google Classroom. So Casey started showing you how to be able to log into Google Classroom. You should all be seeing my screen right now. And I will backtrack a little bit to my classes. So once you log into Google Classroom, you'll see a variety of different classes that are available to you. And today, we're going to first of all talk about how to create a class, and then we're going to go through some specific tabs within a class. So when you
apologize for that. And we go into our
oh, okay, sorry, Casey. Let me stop my share. Go ahead and start sharing again.
Okay, that's fine. Is everything okay?
We lost you there for a little while, Casey. You froze. So
I'm sorry.
no,
I
it's
don't know
okay.
I don't know what's
Ralph
going
was
on.
being a team player and jumping right back in. So he was going to start from where you left off. About after you log into ClassLink is kind of where we lost you.
Okay, I don't know what's going on. All right.
Okay.
So logging into ClassLink, you lost me?
Yeah, just you may want to reshare your screen out.
Yep, I'll get on it right now. All right. There we go. So we've got, let's see. Sorry about that. So if you have your classes and you've added or joined your class, so you can join your class here or create a class. So when you create a class, you'll make you'll create your name, second grade, and then you can do your section or subject. It does come in handy, make little notes in here. I use subject sometimes, check your work or check your stream. So you can always type in there. Once you have your class created, it will pop up in your dashboard. This is your classroom dashboard. And then you have your different, this is your stream. This is where you can type messages. But before you do that, we need to add your students. There is some confusion sometimes with adding students. Sometimes if you want to add your students, you basically can type in their name or their number. It's connected to our addresses for all our Google addresses, our domain. So I actually have a fake student, and we're going to add that person as our student. When they log in, when they actually log in, their screen I'll show you in a moment. It will come up, but they don't need an email, even though, because a lot of our students don't know how to access their email. But this is actually just a nice way, instead of sharing the code, which is in our stream here, you can share that with them by email or through, if you're using ClassDojo or Remind. However, you may want to just invite them. And if you invite them, it's a pretty easy process. There is a video Jeff shared yesterday that I think we are going to share later or on our tutorial that shows how to use PowerSchool and upload. But honestly, it's pretty easy to just type the student's name and they'll populate through our people through here. So again, if you add students and you type their name, it will populate it for you and it invites them. The neat thing about this is they don't need to go to an email to check. When they log into Google Classroom, which I'll show you in a moment, when they log in, their stream, their dashboard is going to look kind of like yours, and it will have a class. Actually, I'm going to stop sharing for a moment, and I'll share my other screen. So when they see it, when your students see it, you'll see it'll look like this. So when they log in, it'll actually say, oh, I can join this class. And all they have to do is click join. Okay, there's a problem, and that was because of my because I'm on 2 different accounts, but that's what it looks like there. That's the only reason why there's actually an issue, and I think that's one of the reasons why we're having an issue with freezing. I'm going to try one more time. If not, that's okay. All right, so, but yeah, it does normally work. I'm just, because I'm logging in as different users, that sometimes has an issue. But for today, I'm just going to move on. But that is what their dashboard looks like, and that's how they join. I'm going to stop sharing and go back to where I was. Ralph, everything going okay?
Yeah, sure. So like I said, we obviously, guys, right now what we're covering is the idea of how do you add people. And if I can just jump in for a second, Casey, while you've got your screen up there on your main screen.
Sure. Yep.
So just to backtrack a little bit, there are 4 different areas in any Google Classroom once you've created. So it's pretty straightforward to create it, as Casey had showed you. The stream area overall is your communications tool to be able to use with your students. And we'll show you how to post information there in just a moment. Casey's going to walk you through classwork, which is where you're going to be able to post assignments and information for your students. As a 2nd and 3rd grade teacher, we're going to recommend that you're going to be setting up topics for each one of your subject areas. So you have one class that's going to have multiple assignments underneath each topic. Casey just explained to you people, which people is where you add your students, or you can also add a different role, which is a co-teacher with you. So where it's on the top where it says teachers, you can add additional teachers to have access to your class. And the last tab that you see there, we aren't going to cover today, especially at the younger grade level, is that you can actually set up so that it does grading for you. And there are assignments that you can set with, criteria and how you want it to be graded. And it creates, in a sense, its own grade book within there. But I know that's not going to be the area we're going to cover right now. We're really going to be talking about Google Classroom for the younger kids, which wouldn't incorporate that you're worrying about grades online with them. So Casey, I'll let you take it over from the stream and then classwork after that.
Okay. So yeah, this is your stream, and basically you can post your classes from here or from classwork. But this is really just a way for you to communicate. If you go to settings, and that's your cogwheel that I just clicked over there, and you scroll down, there is your class code. You can choose whether you'd like your students to post or comment. A lot of times, honestly, I just do students can comment only, just so they're not posting and creating something new. But it really depends. If you haven't seen them in a while and you want them to post things, you can, or you can walk over your rules of how to do so. Or you can even make it where only teachers post or comment. So there are some options there. And then you have your classwork unstreamed. These are just notifications. I can go over how to actually turn off notifications if you're getting annoying ones through regular settings. I can do that later. And then you have just some other options in here. A newer option that's been recent in the recent month with distance learning is that you can generate your own Meet link. Again, we will talk more about Meet at another time. And then, as Ralph had mentioned, the grading also, there's that option as well. And then any changes you do, you can save it. But I'm gonna check back out. So this is your stream. And then, as Ralph was mentioning, we have our classwork. And I've used this as examples before. This really, you have a lot to generate and create. If we'll start with an assignment, and if you start with an assignment, your options are almost endless in the sense that you can create a title, put your instructions, and then you have add feature, which you can take a file from your Google Drive, a link, a website, another file if you have it somewhere else, even a YouTube video. And now that YouTube, for some schools, it might have been restricted, but I think now we're pretty much over that since everyone's home. And then also we have a create. So if you don't have a Google Doc or a Google Slide or something that you haven't created yet and you want to create it, you actually have the option to create it right here. And this is just a nice feature because you can create it here, type it up, and work it that way. Another feature that's really nice is that if you are adding a Google Doc, for example, pull one up. When you insert or add from your drive, you have your recent documents. You also have, you can pick a PDF if you wanted to, and add that. If you're doing a Google Doc, if I go to my drive, and if, say, for example, if I had a Google Doc that I wanted, I could pick anything from there, and then I have my shared drive, and we can pick from there, or even if you have a starred document or something that you were using. And if you want, which is another great feature, is if you have a document that you use or create, once you have it, and I'm just putting into create just to show this part, but it will open up the document, make it, you can title it. And once you do that, if you go back to here, you have an option, which is you can make the file if it's a read only, so they can just view it. So if you have directions or something you want to add, if you want to have them edit it, this is a great tool because you can have them, it's kind of like Jamboard in the sense that you can have everyone work on it all at once and create different information. It can get kind of hectic. So if you want to only hear from those students, you can make it, what we have is make a copy. This is also a nice feature because you can make a copy for each student and it automatically populates it. If you do this function and then you pick your, whether you want it graded or ungraded, and pick due date, which comes up on their dashboard under their class. There's even a nice rubric. If you do all that, you can then assign it. I didn't title it, so if I did second grade example, and then from here, there is for which grade, you can actually choose other classrooms that you have, which is another nice feature. So you have make a copy for each student, and then you can pick the multiple classes and it will generate it and populate it. If I click those other classes, it will generate it and do it. It does take a little while, so be patient. So when I click assign, it's actually going to take a little while. If I had multiple classes or multiple students on there, it will have to populate it. So it'll take a little longer than it just did. And then you can also, besides assignments, and I know under our rollout, if we look at the rollout for day 50, you have to actually find the question your teacher posted. So you're going to actually post a classroom or post a question. And in order to do that, you can go to create questions. And you can type, what is your favorite sport? And you can make it a short answer. You can have multiple choice. You can add a file or video, again, create something with it to add to it. And then you can post it and ask. Another feature that you might want to think about is if you're planning ahead and you're trying to plan and figure out, you can actually have the questions ready for the week if you want to do one daily, and you can make them, you could schedule a due date or schedule when you want it to post. Or what I like to do is I make it a draft. So if I'm doing it, I can actually schedule or save as a draft, which is another option that you have.
Yeah, so, and just to jump in there too,
Yep.
you have a draft or schedule something, the student does not see it till it actually goes live. So if you scheduled it for next week, the students won't see that assignment on their side until it's actually that date that you assigned it to.
Good point, Ralph. Yeah, it'll actually be right there and it'll say it. I'm actually going to make one up just so you can see it. If I post it as schedule or save draft, it will then appear right here, kind of not as dark or bold or highlighted as the other ones. And then it says draft right there. And then all you have to do is click your snowman and you can edit it or even delete it if you don't want that one anymore. All right, so.
Casey, can you just go back there and just show
Yep.
the topic as well?
What was that?
Can you just go in the classwork? So as Casey's walking you through different ways of creating things, if you go to either the stream or classwork or people, you'll notice that there's always this plus sign to be able to create different types of items. Under classwork, though, one of the areas that you're probably going to want to do in your classroom at first is hit create. And then under create, you've got the option that underneath there, the last option is called a topic. So my recommendation, and I think probably the recommendation of many people that use Google Classroom, especially at this level, you're going to have one class for your whole second grade or third grade class. What you're going to want to do is then create a topic, and the topics can be math, science, social studies, whatever it may be. And then once a topic's created, it basically creates a folder that allows you to put the other assignments, and you can categorize things for your students. It makes it a little bit easier for them to kind of see what's available and what's not. So you'll see once you actually have created that topic that it'll show up as almost like a heading.
And then if I click the heading, I can then add all my lessons in there. And then I can go here and copy link, or if, yeah, and then all my topics are there. And if I go to create an assignment, and let's see, there it is. And then topic, as Ralph was saying, I have scrolled down here. I've got, it's kind of in my share there, but I could pick science and make that topic for science. Instructions, add my file, create.
And before you close out of there too, Casey,
Yep.
one other option whenever you create anything, as Casey mentioned earlier, in the upper left-hand corner, you can choose what classes you want to assign this to. Excuse me, upper right-hand corner.
Yep.
You can choose what classes you want to assign it to, but if you look next to that, on top of it, if you're in a specific class, you can
Good point.
assign, if you had students enrolled here, all your students would be listed there, and you can make assignments specifically for a student or a cohort of students if you like.
Yeah, since I only have one student in there, it's not going to do anything. But yes, it will show you all your students listed here, and you can just click and point which ones you do and which ones you don't. So you could make groups through that way. All right. So the next part, Ralph, was there anything else you wanted me to point on for classwork or?
No, I think we're good actually right now.
And then we got stream people.
If we can go back to those just to stream, and I think I want to kind of
Yep.
walk through just a couple of items. So just to kind of recap, what you're really using your Google Classroom for is, and I think Jeff had an interesting way of actually explaining it. I've sometimes explained it as a simple learning management system, but it's a way of sharing documents in many ways and sharing some simple communication with your students. The stream works very similar to the classwork but this is actually where you'd almost think of it as like a chat, or if you had a specific thing that you wanted to put up for students to see. So in my classes, I may put up that, it could be under the stream that don't forget to watch this video on PBS tonight, if it was just a regular blended learning class, or it could be, you could post your question of the day there as Casey had showed you before here in the stream. So you can post it in a variety of different places. But once again, if you look at the interface for posting anything in the stream, it's similar to posting an assignment. The interface looks exactly the same. You can choose your classes, so you can post it to multiple classes at once. You can choose your students. You can tell them what you want to share. And you can also, where it says add, you can either add a link, you can add a video. So Casey, maybe you just want to show them how to post a YouTube video to this, or just hit add and hit a link, either one, it'll actually look on YouTube if you wanted to be able to find a specific video, or if you had the link to it, you could just copy and paste it there and hit add.
Either way.
You'd be able to add a specific video that will be added to that assignment.
And then when you hit post, and that one you can schedule as well, but when you post it, I had actually a couple teachers ask me this after yesterday. You can delete only posts from here or edit or change. But if you want to delete an assignment, as I have my assignment here, or a question, you can't delete it from here. You'd have to go back to classwork. So if you post from the stream, you can delete using the snowman, or if you go to classwork and you need to delete an assignment, you can just go to the assignment and click the snowman and then click delete. All right. Did I get, let's see. Go into Google Classroom, classwork tab, passage assignments. Ralph, I think I'm covering everything there so far. Is there any questions popping up?
I don't think I see many at the moment, unless people are just actually listening in.
Okay.
So our goal today right now was to just basically make sure that in a very short period of time, we covered how to create a classroom, how to be able to create a post on a stream and see what your options are there, be able to post onto classwork and assignment, as well as be able to organize some topics and be able to actually add students to your class so that you have them available for you. Hopefully this quick tutorial was something that was really, really helpful to you. I do believe that we've kind of covered almost everything. Let me let me do this. I'm gonna actually, we did that in actually record time. So I'm going to cut off the YouTube stream on this. So this will be also recorded and just available for you for later if you want to go back to it, as well as one from yesterday, as well as recording. And then we can just have an open conversation to be able to answer any questions you may have specifically.